Batman suddenly kicks out with all his strength, knocking the Joker backward into his gang, who tumble into the cockpit and jam the wheel. He quickly wriggles free of his bonds, but the plane is headed into a nosedive. As the Joker and his thugs take the only parachutes and bail out, Batman tries to free the stuck wheel, but it won't budge. Suddenly, the radio crackles with a message.
This is the Joker calling Batman from my parachute walkie-talkie. Didn't I give you enough clues, dummy? You fell for every trick, and now you're just plain fallen. Get it? Plain fallen?
Howdy everyone, this is Dave, and welcome to another Choose Your Own Adventure reading, or should I say which way reading. This is Batman, the Doomsday Prophecy. This came out in either 1984 or 1986, but it was later re-released as a tie-in for the Tim Burton movie. And judging by the cover and the logo, it's pretty obvious they didn't collaborate with him. And their inspiration is probably going off of the Adam West era or the Super Friends or whatever they had going on. So it leaves me a little discouraged on our endings. I have a feeling it weighs heavy in our favor on the end options. So hopefully we don't get something cheesy. If this was more based on the Tim Burton movie, then man, this might be awesome. One thing I like about this is it has a little tutorial at the beginning. I might read this some other time, but I'd rather just get into the main story. So without further ado, here we go. What? Cries Batman, nearly crashing the Batmobile. He has been speeding toward the dark streets of Gotham on his way to police headquarters, when the familiar bat signal suddenly changed into a grinning skull. Someone has tampered with the searchlight, thinks Batman. But why turn the bat silhouette into a death's head? It must be a warning, or it's a trap. Batman's next move could be critical. A wrong decision might mean his doom. So we're crashing into our first set of choices. I like how we as the readers have access to Batman's thoughts, because genuinely he just kind of acts in secret and has a plan the whole time. Modern Batman always has a contingency plan. This guy's almost crashing the Batmobile. I mean, it even starts off with, "What?" cries Batman. Batman doesn't cry. Anyways, let's check out these choices. If Batman drives straight to police headquarters, turn to page 17. If he radios Commissioner Gordon from the Batmobile, turn to page 26. If he plays it safe and uses a public phone, turn to page 3. For more information on the bat signal, turn to page 119. That even adds more to the comical nature of this Batman using a payphone. I remember him, but probably people nowadays don't. I definitely prank called on him, but it would be really quite hilarious to see Batman out there making a call. So that gauges our communications. There is almost certainly no cellular communication. So we got nothing in the cowl. And who exactly are we reporting back to? Is it Alfred? There's no gal in the chair. I don't know, we're getting too deep. The average person knows a lot about Batman these days. So for them to provide you some information on the bat signal is pretty interesting. Let's check that out real quick. Page 119. Oh, cool. We got a little fact file. It provides us a little synopsis on 3 criminals. So we're dealing with the Joker, the Riddler, or Two-Face. So our choices will probably be around them. We have a little paragraph on the utility belt, as well as the bat signal. Since this is an era where people are actually showing up and talking to each other, I think Batman should just drive straight to the police headquarters. Turn to page 17. Batman! Thank heavens you're here! Exclaims Commissioner Gordon as the Cape Crusader arrives at police headquarters. Look at this edition of the Gotham Gazette! The headline reads, 24 Hours of Doom, a warning to Batman. "Can this mean that you have 24 hours to live?" asks the commissioner. But Batman is studying the headline. It takes a clever mind to sneak into the Gotham printers and add this headline. This is the Joker's work. But it is almost dawn. And today is the day Bruce Wayne is to go on a charity cruise. Should Batman ignore the warning and go on the cruise as Bruce? Or should he investigate the Gotham Gazette while the trail's still hot? If Batman goes on the cruise as planned, turn to page 40. If he rushes over to the newspaper office, turn to page 5. They cut us to the quick with this one, because this is a decision that Bruce Wayne has to make all the time. If I was a philanthropist, me personally, you better believe I'd be hanging out and doing stuff with charities. But I don't have to deal with the dilemmas that Bruce Wayne has to deal with. And as we all know, Bruce Wayne is the actual mask. Batman is the real person. So we should do what Batman does, and we should rush over to the newspaper office. Turn to page 5. At the Gotham Gazette offices, Batman discovers all of the night staff tied up in a broom closet. The second edition has already hit the streets with a new headline: Gotham City to be destroyed in 24 hours. The article beneath states that unless Batman can solve the mystery, the Joker will somehow poison half the city's population. How can you poison millions of people in only 24 hours? Wonders Batman desperately. He can think only 3 possible ways. About half the city cooks with gas stoves, everybody drinks city water, and everybody breathes the air. Which is most likely? So this is an interesting set of choices, because you can imagine each of these being a scheme that the Joker would have at some point. It's just, what scheme is he pulling off right now? I have a feeling the Joker is going to poison the water supply, so we should head to the reservoir. Turn to page 33. Something strange is going on, says Batman, parking the Batmobile near the huge reservoir. Far out in the middle of the water is a ferry boat. He runs and jumps into a small power launch belonging to the Department of Public Works. Pleasure boating on the reservoir is illegal, he says to himself, shutting off his motor to approach the ferry undetected. Batman now sees the Joker's gang aboard the larger boat. They are opening bags of some kind of dry chemical to dump overboard. Commanding his crooked crew is the Joker, who laughs hysterically. Batman listens to their conversation. Turn to page 56. "How long will it take for this poison to work, boss?" one of the gang asks the Joker.
I told you, idiot!
He screams.
From the moment we pour it into the reservoir until the time it reaches every home in Gotham takes about 20 hours. At least half the population of Gotham will drink it. The poison will only be active in their system for a few minutes, but by that time, I'll have won! Batman wasn't clever enough to thwart my scheme!
Laughs the Joker. He goes to the starboard railing to dump the first bag of poison. Batman must act fast. They had us going there with the poison for a minute, but apparently it's only going to be active for a few minutes, so the stakes aren't super high, and the Joker doesn't describe how he would have won. So I'm not quite sure what his grand plan is here. But our options are, if Batman reaches for his utility belt, turn to page 20. If he rushes into the boat's cabin, turn to page 6. For further information about Batman's utility belt, turn to page 119. Well, we've already established that fact file thing and all that other stuff. Man, people must not have known anything about Batman in the 80s. Anyways, I know Batman would probably reach for his utility belt, so let's go with that. Turn to page 20. Just as the Joker and his men are about to pour the chemical poison, Batman yanks the batarang from his utility belt and hurls it, spinning a silken cord around and around the gang. Suddenly, Batman pulls tight on the cord and binds the Joker and his gang together. They are completely helpless. Batman radios Commissioner Gordon and tells him of the Joker's mad plot.
"I know you'd like to talk to him, Commissioner,"
says Batman into his two-way radio.
but he's all tied up at the moment.
The Joker doesn't seem to get the joke. He just stares straight ahead, frowning, as Batman steers to shore. The end. I couldn't believe it was that easy. I even looked at the other option and it was just as easy. So I feel like I was right. A lot of the ends in this book result in Batman just figuring it out and he saves the day and you win. Perhaps we should have went to the charity because the Joker in this one is a straight up clown. I'll win! What will you win? What was your plan? This was probably just a half-ass ending. The fact that this company thought that they could reissue this as a tie-in with the Tim Burton movie is pretty laughable, honestly. They didn't collaborate whatsoever on the vibe of this. Not to mention the Joker fucking dies in that one. Anyways, everyone, that's all I've got for this video. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next time, have a good one.